How do you survive when you've been working on a job for 20, 30 years and then they lay you off? And now you're too old to even start a new skill. What do you do when there's not enough to take care of your daily obligations? What do you do when you lose a business? What do you do when nothing seems to work out and you're losing your sanity? What do you do when you have so much stress in your marriage because of financial problems that it's causing you to have a difficult time sleeping with your spouse?
Adversity introduces a man to himself.
Most of the time, we're not afraid of it until something bad happens to us. When things fall apart, it makes us think outside the box.
This is not for everyone. This is not for the faint at heart. This is for people who have goals and dreams they want to achieve.
I'm wondering this morning if there's anybody here that life has handed you something that you didn't expect. The one thing I can tell you for sure is that nothing is for sure. Life will often disrupt what you expected. See, you don't know what people go through behind the scenes trying to cope with life. That just as soon as you have it down in a nice, neat little box of how you think it's gonna go, it will never be what you expected it to be. So you gotta get used to being a little disappointed. You gotta get used to being a little bit shocked. You gotta get used to walking into situations and being flexible and adjustable. Because if you are not flexible, you cannot survive. But I came to tell you this morning that our God is a God of the unexpected. So just because life has shocked you doesn't mean it's shocked God. Nothing takes God by surprise. He already knows what's going on in every corner of your life.
When we have a teeth-rattling experience and the very foundation of our life has been shaken, we run to God, only to discover that it's God that's doing the shaking.
In order to develop and to change and to grow, stress is necessary. So you got to be willing to go get it every day. There's a story my father told me. Now, I've heard it several different ways, but I'm just telling you the way my daddy gave it to me. He said, son, he said, every morning on the plains of the eastern Serengeti Desert, there arises a gazelle that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest lion, or he will be eaten and he will die that day. On that same desert arises in the morning a lion that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest gazelle, or he will starve and he will die that day. He say, son, the moral of the story is, no matter who you is, when you wake up in the morning, you needs to be running. And he said, no matter who you is, this proper grammar is who you are, but my daddy didn't do that, and I was comfortable with it. And so what he taught me was a work ethic of how to work. In order to get to where you want to go, you got to put yourself under some stress, though. See, stress is necessary.
Sometimes the only way for you to move on is something to happen to push you. And many times we don't grow until we have to. It's amazing when we look at the world today, every progressive invention came out of a problem. You are not really a leader in good times. Anybody can lead in good times. You've been telling me how much faith you got. Well, let's see what kind of faith you have when there has to be situations where things don't look too good and you're not sure how you're going to make it in the morning. Sometimes you stray away and God got to pull the rug from under you to get you back on the floor. The original idea that God told you from the beginning, and it's called your original vision. There's a statement made by Shakespeare. He says, sweet are the uses of adversity. That's a deep statement. In other words, he's telling us when things are adverse, don't panic, use them. Use them for the positive result. Everything that happens to you could be used to produce something good. That's amazing, everything. So Shakespeare caught on to something. He realized in his own thinking that adversity can be used to benefit the one under the adversity.
Until you have had the taste of finishing, you will not respect yourself. Until you follow through, until something is done, come hell or high water. Tears and struggles and pain and you go through it anyway, and you show up and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances, you finished. See, some people quit because things are out of control. Nobody quits what you can control. But the moment you get in something where you don't get your way, or you get reprimanded, or you get corrected, or you go through this, or you go through that, or you go through the other, the first thing the immature mind says is, this is ridiculous, I quit.
John Huntsman is the founder of one of the largest companies in the United States, and they produce but 90% of all the plastics, forks, and spoons that you use in your house or at your parties. His company fell into debt. The bank said they didn't loan him more money, and his company went into bankruptcy. He went home and told his wife, I quit. I'm never going to start this company again. I'm going to go find me a job. It's over. He said his wife made him go back and ask another bank, and he showed the bank the truth. He said, here's what I did in the last 15 years. Here's what happened, and I can start again. I know how to build a business. Will you trust me? And the bank says, I'll take a chance on you. He had no credibility, no assets, just a record that he built a company. The bank took a chance on him. Today, the company is worth over $14 billion. Here's what he said, I quote, if there is a silver lining to bad times, it is this. When facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest. End quote. Now look at the statements in that statement. He said, when you are under the biggest pressure, that is when your mind is normally at its sharpest. Because your mind is having to think of things you never thought of before. Another quote I got from him is this one. He said, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. He was talking from experience. He said, we don't produce anything that's worth talking about unless we are under pressure. In other words, you were never trusted for the things you claim. You're always trusted for the things you survive. It is the test that creates credibility. Write it down. It is the test that creates trust. The troubles right now, what you're going through, is going to give you the respect of other people observing you. There are people who are praying that you fail, and then they'll trust you when you don't. Great people in the world. They hope you won't make it, and when you make it, they congratulate you. So therefore, don't listen to the naysayers. Accept the test as part of you becoming a successful person.
God is a trainer. This is what I done learned about. And all I can tell you is, how I got to be who I am. That's all I can share with you. I got no other stories for you. He wants me to share my story with those that still trying to get there. And at 40, you can still buy the pony. But you got to be willing to get under some stress.
Most people are spectators in life. Don't get knocked down while you're sitting down. You want to get out in the field where the action is. And you will be amazed. After the struggle, there will be a calm period and things will begin to click for you. Come out here with what you got. You don't have enough money? Don't worry about it. You got the dream.
Life demands that you pick up the pace. Life demands that you pick up the pace. If you don't pick up the pace, you're going to be left behind. I'm amazed at the people that like the flexibility to pick up the pace. They just get in a run out. And I'm going to stroll back. I'm going to stroll over here. I'm going to stroll over there. I can't deal with people who cannot pick up the pace. Don't be strolling when I got a 911 on you. I need people who can pick up the pace.
Successful people are always survival testimonials. They weren't born successful. Success is a result of going through a furnace, being ripped apart, being criticized and attacked. But write this down, please. This is very important. The fear of losing the job is the greatest concern. I want to talk about this because that's what the Lord told me to talk about. Check your concept of job. Because that is where the problem lies. That has become our curse. Because a job is really an opportunity someone else offers you. And if somebody offers you an opportunity, they can always take it back. And And if you build your life on someone else's offer, you are as safe as how they feel at the time. And they can change the way they feel anytime and withdraw the offer. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's why you can't build your life on a job. Stay with me. I'm going to help you with this here.
The reason that we don't even explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe that it can happen for us, and we don't believe that we deserve it. So I'm saying that we have to work through the challenges of life and learning how to begin to work and fortify ourselves.
So no matter what you're facing, don't panic too long. Every test is temporary. You may panic for a minute, but I'm come to tell you the panicking time is over now, because you're going to get some wisdom. Nothing is permanent except God and His promises. Everything else is changing. As a matter of fact, God promises us that nothing will remain the same. He promised that. Now, God doesn't change. His promise doesn't change. And here's one of His promises. He said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, He says, to everything there is only a season. And to every purpose there is a time under heaven. In other words, everything that you experience is only seasonal. If you're broke now, it's only a seasonal brokenness. Nothing, Jesus says, is forever. So if your company had to die, you're going to be resurrected. I've come to tell you, bury it, have a good funeral, and then get ready for a resurrection. Tell them, I'll be back. Why? Because everything is only for a season.
Be not be surprised that family members and friends and people who should be there to encourage you and motivate you, that they will try and discourage you. They're called a pyramid schemer, and they don't believe, they can't see this new you. Don't allow those negative naysayers, the people who are suffering from possibility blindness, to stop you. Had I listened to them, I would not be standing here. Had I listened to them, I would not be traveling around the world, living my dreams and not my fears. There's something in you that says yes to your life, yes to a greater future, yes, yes, yes. I am the captain of my ship.
The dirt is necessary so you can prove yourself. Everything you see above ground that blossoms and grows and that's beautiful, it was underground one time. All the potatoes, collard greens, they was underground one time. Them apple trees, they was underground one time. So they had to prove themselves. See, you want to be successful, well then you got to prove yourself. You got to push through the dirt. You got to come up through here. You got to come out. Then you sprout. Then you become a tree. Next thing you know, you got fruit. So when you under stress, take the stress for what it is. Don't get fooled. Don't just think, man, Lord must not mean for it to be. What you talking about? How you think you gonna be a plant, a tree, a flower, and ain't no stress? How you gonna get to be that without no dirt?
When things fall apart, we have to find another way to solve it. See, the problem with humanity is we are creatures of habit. We have the habit of going to work. There are folks who get up, put their clothes on, forgot they got fired. We got a pattern of being broke. So we even get money, we spend it just to make sure we are broke. It's a pattern. Do you know why we all love a winner? Because deep in our DNA, in the heart of our spirit being, is the spirit of a creature that knows how to succeed. And when we see it, it makes us identify.
I would rather aim for the stars and not hit them than to not aim at all. I would rather go after it and not get it than not go after it at all. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. I don't want to live with the idea, wonder what would have happened had I done more with my life. I'm going to go for it, come hell or high water. I'm going after my destiny. Touch your neighbor and say,
I
whoa.
want to define success for you. First of all, let me tell you what success is not. Write this down. Success is not what you've done compared to what others have done. You'll always find someone dumber than you. You'll always find someone who can't run as fast as you. So don't try to compare yourself to anybody. You'll always have success against them. So success is not what you've done compared to what I have done. That's not success, that's competition. So what is success? Success is what you've done compared to what you were created to do. Success is the fulfillment of the purpose and the assignment for which you were created. You know, if a seed becomes a tree, it's still not successful. A seed was a guy like the Apostle Paul. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. He says, I am like a drink offering. I've been poured out. There's nothing left. That's success. Success is down. Success is saying, I have done everything that I was sent here to do. Write this point down. It's very important here. Success is not a pursuit. Problem is, you are pursuing it. If you try to pursue success, it runs from you. The Bible actually says, he who chases money, money takes wings. That's in the Bible. The more you run after it, the more it runs from you. Why? It doesn't happen that way. As a matter of fact, Jesus said something that is so weird. He said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteous laws, and all of these things shall what? Be added unto you. They'll be chasing you. You attract things. Success is a result of obedience to laws. A car doesn't try to run well. Just follow the laws of the engine. Give it what it needs, and it runs well. So it is with life. You trying to be great, you'll never be great. You trying to be successful, you'll never be successful. You trying to be prosperous, it'll run from you. Success is a result of what? Obedience to laws. So success is first of all discovering what you were born to do. What is your gifting? And then forgetting competition and pursuing fulfilling that gift. And you do all in your might to keep pursuing fulfilling the gift. Don't worry about success. Serve the gift. When you came to this earth, you came with everything necessary to fulfill your assignment. That's why going to university doesn't make you successful. You don't go to school to get your gift. Education cannot give you a gift. It refines your gift, but it can't give it to you. Your gift was built in by the manufacturer.
And as you think about your goals and dreams, don't ask yourself how you're going to do it. My favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. There are things you can do that you don't know right now. See, preparing to come up and speak to you, that is not challenging. But let me share with you what it took me years to do, was to believe that I can do it. Given my circumstances, born abandoned building on a floor, being adopted, being labeled mentally retarded when I was in the 5th grade, and put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade, and failed again when I was in the 8th grade. Being raised in poverty, how you live your life is a result of the story you believed about yourself. And so being in the environment where I was born, it's not where you start, it's where you're born. That was my reality of being poor. I was stuck. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. I'll never forget the gentleman I eulogized a few weeks ago when I first met him. He said, young man, go to the board to work this problem out for me. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. Why not? I'm not one of your students. Look at me. Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I can't, sir. Why? The other students started laughing. He's DT. He's a twin. His brother's smart. His sister, she's smart. But he's DT. What's DT? He's a dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. As the students laughed, he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And so that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. As Mother Teresa would say, inspired, distract, dispute, and inspired to become like a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter. How important is that? That's major. People have lost hope. When there's hope in the future that gives you power in the present. Tell the story on how you saw this opening up the door for a new life for yourself. Is it easy? Of course it's not easy. It's challenging. It requires patience. It requires persistence. It requires a willingness to do whatever is required to create a new life for yourself.
Whatever you were born to do, he built into you the ability to do it for his name's sake. Your future is in the gift that he gave you. Most gifts are stuck in a job that you had for 40 years, buried in the graveyard of your career. That's why God fired you.
success.
See, I'm a seed, I really am. But a seed has to be planted. A seed got to have dirt put on top of it. If you take a seed and throw it on the concrete and walk off, the sun just burn it up. But guess what? Dirt is necessary for growth and development. Dirt builds character. Dirt gives you the push-through factor. Dirt makes you come with it when you don't feel like coming with it no more. And you get dirt in a lot of different ways. All of y'all that had dirt thrown on you. And dirt ain't always what you want. It's somebody talking about you down on your job. It's somebody accusing you of something that you didn't do. It's somebody telling you you ain't gonna make it. That everybody get dirt put on them. But see, when you getting put under that stress, God is always working. I know he back there, so I smile. See, that dirt builds character in you. When they talking about you, it teaches you to withstand it. Then it gives you something to push through. So when you put the seed and you put the dirt on it, if you understand stress, stress really ain't just dirt. See, they don't call it dirt when they plant it. They call it soil. Because see, soil has nutrients in it. When people talking about you, dogging you, they're actually putting nutrients in you. They're building character. You got character now.
There are some people who went further than I did because they ran when I was playing. They were studying when I was partying. And the Lord sent me here to tell you it's running time. It's running time. It's not strolling time. It's not walking time. It's not sightseeing time. It's running time. You see, if you hear me good, especially young people, if you run after your destiny, you will automatically distance yourself from your history. You understand? If you just run after what's in front of you, you will escape what's behind you. Don't spend all your time trying to fix what's behind you, because you'll never be able to fix what's behind you. You have to run after what's in front of you. Somebody's late, but you made up your mind. I'm gonna start running. I didn't get it till I got to this age, but I'm gonna start running. I messed up junior high, but now I'm gonna start running. I messed up high school, but now I'm gonna start running. The moment you get the word, you ought to run. The Bible said, the day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. When God gives you a chance at an escape, don't be cute, run after your destiny. My God, run! Run, do y'all hear me?
But see, I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because I assumed I couldn't do it. Because I'd never done it before. There are people who can tell you no. They're living off an assumption. They assume because they've never done it before, they can't do it. Or they assume because they've been involved in the business before and things didn't work out, and so this won't work out. I didn't do what I'm doing now because I assume because I don't have a college education. I assume because I had to compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. I assume because of my lack of education, I could not compete. I didn't do what I'm doing now because I had such a tremendous inferiority complex because of my lack of college education. I stopped myself. And so as you look at yourself, as you look at your goals, look at your dreams, it's very important that you take time every day and write this down to retrain your thinking. You gotta retrain your thinking because how we live our lives is a result of the story that we bought into. I had to retrain my thinking because of what I saw. Studies indicate that decisions we make in life is directly related to the things that we saw, the things we experienced, the conversations we've been exposed to between age 0 and 5. And so as a result of that, my experience, I had to begin to engage in a process of retraining my mindset. And I didn't even know what I was doing. Listening to Earl Nightingale. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. Listening to Dr. Dennis Wade, people form habits and habits create futures. Listening to Zig Ziglar, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. listening to Jim Rohn. And the dream comes for you, loving how you conquer a new mountain, not sliding down the pole. Listening and reading the words of Winston Churchill, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice ne'er packet, ignorance may deride it, but at the end, there it is. Reading from my favorite book, Be Not Conformed to This World, Be Transformed by the Renewing of Your Mind. Listening to these words help to create a different vision for myself. Some of you are already doing it right now. I'm saying this is a time more than ever that you want to begin to inoculate yourself with positive words, to make yourself unstoppable, to get out of your mind the polluting negative thoughts that's causing most people to go through life being stuck because they're volunteer victims. Somebody said that many people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65 because they got so much garbage in their minds. You are here because you've got a clear vision of what you want and where you're going. Give yourselves a round of applause.
You can work hard and still be broke. It ain't hard work. Slaves work hard. Study history. Slaves are hard-working people. They don't even own themselves. So working hard is not the secret. It's laws. You keep my laws. Meditate. Talk about them on your lips. He says they will what? You will make your way. That means you make your own prosperity. By what? Doing the Lord's. Sitting home in that house. You're not activating some laws that can make you prosper. Right in your own house. You got an oven that don't work except once a week. That's a sin. You only use your car to go to work. You can serve some people with your car. Use your car. There's a law. He says you will make your way prosperous. Have good success. Look at Jeremiah 29 verse 11. God says, I know the plans I have for you, God says. Plans to prosper you. What kind of God is this? Now, why does he want you to prosper? Namesake. I plan for my product to prosper, he says. What else? Not to harm you. Why? Because my name is on you. I can't have a broken product. That's bad for my reputation as a company.
You gotta run after your destiny. 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 You gotta run after it. You gotta run.
Don't worry if they don't get it. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You are not like everybody else. You can walk outside and find pigeons, but if you're looking for eagles, it's gonna take you a minute. You are different. It's lonely at the top, but you eat better. That's what I'm talking about.
We ain't imperfect. See, I expect dirt now. I expect people to talk about me. Matter of fact, I look forward to it now. Do your thing, because if I can weather what happened to me and my family earlier, you can bring whatever you got now. Bring it. Because now I have developed a character that is stress. I have soil, enough dirt on me that has provided me with nutrients. So now, let me help you understand how hard it is to be successful. It's like doing 100 push-ups. You know, the average person can't do 100 push-ups. But because of the fact that it's difficult, you're not gonna try? Through prayer in some kind of way. You ain't got to know how. You just got to start. See, too many people try to figure out the how. Now I'm successful. What I got to do to stay successful? Hold that position. Lock and hold.
You know how I pray? When I have a need, I say, Lord, the needs can be met. You don't pray for your sake. I have a plan, he says, for you. A plan to prosper you, not to harm you. A plan to give you what? Hope. And I gotta make sure you make it to the destiny. What's the destiny? The destiny of a seed is to become a tree with fruit. I gotta make sure you make it to the fruit-bearing stage. I have to make sure you make it to your end because my name is on the line.
threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You showed up so that you can stand and say,
This beat is produced by the baddest man on the beat, CEO Budbud.
Meander, do not wander, but roll after your destiny.
Winners win and losers lose. We see peace. We see love. We see family. We see possibility.
Look at this next verse, Ecclesiastes 10. It says, if the axe is dull and its edge is unsharp, then much strength is needed. Ever try to cut a tree down with a dull axe? Dull axe, hard work. If the axe is dull, much strength is needed. But I like the next statement. But
Pollution is hot. CEO Budbud Beats. Bitches.
Of God-ordained opportunities, brilliant in disguise as problems.
I look at the word skill, the Hebrew word. It means knowledge of laws. A skillful person is not a person with a PhD. A skillful person is a person who knows laws. I've been working so hard trying to get my life right. I've been working so hard. I said, look, you kicking life. You cussing at life. You skill. Look at that verse again. If the axe is dull, that means you're dull. Success is not luck. You gotta make sure you keep obeying God. I can't pray for a good marriage. Even magic. Everything in life was designed and created to function by laws.
He said, I'll give you all your eyes can see, and holding that vision will give you power. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God. The armor of stickability, determination, perseverance will allow you to snatch victory from the jaws.
Please, friends, listen to me. Success is simply fulfillment and completion of your purpose.
This beat is produced by the baddest man on the beat, CEO Budbud. Pollution is hot. CEO Budbud Beats.